Okay, so for the meatballs, your ingredients besides the ground beef is going to be 1 egg, fresh chopped parsley, Italian seasoning or the chimichurri seasoning, that works too, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of Parm Reggiano, and then I have black cracked, you can't see it on the bottom, but there's some fresh cracked black pepper in there too. Instead of adding salt, we're just going to add Parmesan cheese. Then I have panko breadcrumbs. It's about half a cup or so, quarter cup, half a cup, I don't measure. And then some sun-dried tomato, crushed garlic, onions, and ricotta cheese. And this is about half a cup of ricotta cheese. So you have little bits and pieces here. It's not baking, you guys. So if you're out of something, don't stress if you don't have the exact amount. And then if you want to substitute something for this, you could even do any kind of vegetable, really. Like you could do olives, you could even do zucchini. I really wanted to do zucchini. I thought that would be nice. But just adding in a little pop of extra flavor with the sun-dried tomatoes is just going to give it something a little bit different. Go sauce. Sauce is going to do its thing. We can get started on those meatballs. So we have about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Then I'm just going to add the onions. We're going to add everything all at once. No rules here, you guys. And then the panko, Parm Reggiano, and you'll see the black pepper right at the bottom, some fresh cracked black pepper, little mix of Italian seasoning, just as long as you have some parsley in there, oregano, crushed red pepper, the usual suspects, some sun-dried tomato, and that's just chopped really fine, garlic, 1 egg, that's going to help to bind everything together, and our ricotta cheese. Get a really good quality whole milk ricotta. You don't want to go overboard with it. Just add a little touch. It's going to make the meatballs really moist. It's going to give it a good texture. And of course, flavor. It's about half a cup. And then some fresh Italian parsley. The meatballs are all very similar in size. The best tip is just to grab a 1/4 cup non-stick measuring spoon. And then each meatball should be about a 1/4 cup. It doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough to a 1/4 cup so they all cook as uniform and evenly as possible. So we're just gonna pop these guys into the oven. The oven's still preheating, but that's fine. And by the way, parchment paper, best thing ever. Everything I cook with, it's always parchment paper when I'm cooking. Don't mind my 500-year-old baking pan that I've had forever. And I like to bake them first, and then when the sauce is done, I add them to the sauce and kind of finish them off in there. Usually I don't fry my meatballs. I don't know, for me they just come out a little bit too greasy that way, so I like to bake them first and then add them to the sauce. And to the sauce, I'm just going to add a little splash of wine and a tablespoon. It smells so good. Let that cook off. Oh, there goes our oven, preheated for the meatballs. I hear you. Sauce. Still going, meatballs, almost ready. Now is the best time to give yourself a little round of applause. So we're just dropping them in. We have our pasta. And I'm doing a little bit of pasta, just 1 scoop with a soup scooper ladle. And then I like to do more meatballs than pasta and more sauce. That way you're less on the carbs, higher on the protein and the good stuff, all the flavor. So I'll put some crushed pepper on top, hit it with a little bit of heat.